It will definitely sneak up on you. I mean, bitterness is a pervasive emotion that can seep into our hearts and minds, affecting how we see ourselves and the people around us. But what we have to understand is why people become so bitter. Bitterness often stems from unresolved pain. So, when an individual experiences a really deep hurt or disappointment, and this pain that they're harboring goes unaddressed for such a long time, it's going to fester and it's going to grow. So, imagine a wound that's never been properly cared for. It's going to get infected and it's going to spread, much like the emotion of bitterness, whether it's a betrayal, a broken dream, or even a series of just small little disappointments here and there. These experiences can collectively lead to the feelings of bitterness if they're not addressed, acknowledged, and healed. Another really significant factor is having unmet expectations. We all have expectations of how we see our lives unfolding, of how other people should treat us, and all of the goals that we want to achieve. And when our reality falls short of these expectations, it can lead to a lot of frustration and a whole lot of resentment. And this gap between expectation and reality becomes a breeding ground for bitterness, especially if people feel as if they don't have any control over their changing circumstances. Bitterness can also be a response to perceived injustice. When individuals feel that they've been unfairly treated or that life just dealt them a really bad hand, the sense of injustice can be overwhelming. And this perception often fuels feelings of resentment and anger, turning into bitterness over time. Furthermore, we can also look at how people compare their lives. And we all know that comparison is a thief of joy and the creator of bitterness. In today's world, where social media showcases and highlights everyone's lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your circumstances to the circumstances of others. You compare your struggles to what you perceive as being successes for other people. And this comparison can make individuals feel very inadequate and overlooked, fostering feelings of bitterness towards themselves and towards other people. So, it's really important to recognize that bitterness does not solve problems. It simply perpetuates them. It acts like a barrier preventing us from experiencing joy, connection, and true growth. Holding on to bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It only harms the one who holds on to it. So, how do we combat bitterness? First, we have to acknowledge our pain and allow ourselves to feel it. Healing begins with recognition. Seek support from friends, family, or even professionals so that they can help you to learn how to process and move through your emotions. Second, adjust your expectations. Life is unpredictable and it rarely goes exactly as planned. So, learn how to embrace flexibility and understand that challenges are just a part of the human experience. Adjusting your expectations can help you to cultivate your resilience and your ability to accept. Third, practice some forgiveness, not for the sake of other people, but for your own peace of mind. Forgiveness is a powerful act of self liberation. It doesn't mean that you completely forget or make excuses for the hurt that was caused to you, but rather you choose to release whatever hold that hurt has on you. And lastly, cultivate your gratitude. Focus on the positives in your life, no matter how small or minuscule you may think they are. Gratitude helps to shift our perspective, and it helps us to appreciate the things that we have rather than lamenting on the things that we lack. In the end, while bitterness is a natural human response to pain, disappointment, and injustice, it doesn't need to define who we are. By acknowledging our pain and adjusting our expectations, practicing forgiveness, and cultivating our gratitude, we can definitely overcome the bitterness that we may harbor. And it's going to lead to us having more joyful and fulfilling lives.
And twist myself